Okay.
Got it. Heather. Oh my goodness, Heather.
It's been a
been
while.
time since, oh, you look wonderful.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Wow. Hey, Walter,
Hi,
where is Etta?
she's on her way home from a sleepover, so she'll be here soon.
Oh, good.
Ah,
Whoa,
I'm just
okay.
gonna go grab a coffee while you guys get started. I'll be right back.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. And Cameron, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Um, we should start, Susan.
We're starting. Okay. I'm going to share my screen so we can start. Okay. Here we go. Slideshow. Okay, welcome to Tea and Turtle Stitch 2. It's week 5. We're going to do skewed spirals and awesome arcs. So what you need to do is open up TurtleStitch and sign in. And then there is a starter project. I'm going to I sent it to you in your email. But I'm going to put it in the chat now too. Okay, let's see. Where is our, okay. Stop. Okay, I'm going to stop. Oh, here we go. Chat. Oh, it's not going to let me do this. Okay, stop share. Okay, and now let me put this in the chat. Okay. Okay, this is the starter project. All right, I'll share again. So go ahead and you can open up the starter project.
What the starter project is a script for making polygon things.
Okay, so I'm going to go back here. Okay. Now, so what are we going to do today? What's it going to look like? I have a couple of examples. So you can have a square spiral and then you can skew it. We're going to learn how to skew spirals today. And then we're going to be doing some work with arcs and some scripts, some words put into them. This is just one example. Here's another example that Cynthia did of a skewed spiral that's very dense. Okay. I want to see if you all did anything in TurtleStitch, but I want to share first that I Zoomed with Elin. And Elin had just got her brother's 700 machine. There were 400, 600s, and the newest version is 700. And the main difference that I saw with the 700s, for those of you who already have brother machines, is that supposedly you can connect through Wi-Fi instead of having to put in a USB drive, but reports are that it's very undependable.
And you have on PC, it doesn't work with a Mac.
Okay. So she got on, we Zoomed, and I walked her through how to hoop and how to insert everything in the machine and get started. And she actually did her first one, which was great. So let's see.
Some fabric for
Wait,
your
stop. Okay, let me get this. So I wanted to show you some. This is on the
fabric
YouTube, but I wanted to show you some ways that some instructions for hooping fabrics because the folks asked us about that. So I made a little video here that shows, at least this is for the Brother machine. It'll be similar for other machines. So here we go.
For your digital embroidery. First, you're going to take a look at your frames and lay them side by side. You're going to have the little hoop fasteners on the left side. You're going to unscrew the hoop a little bit so there's some room down here. You're going to make sure that there is a triangle that's pointing down here. And then you're going to find on this hoop, let's see, you're going to make sure that the triangle is pointing up. So you have a triangle here, a triangle here. Now you're ready to hoop. First, you need a piece of stabilizer, and you're going to lay the stabilizer over the hoop. Then you're going to put your piece of material on top of that. Then you're going to take your hoop, and you can see the little triangle, and you're going to put it through. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. Okay, I've got it in, but you can see there's like lumpiness in it. So we have to fix that. So the way you can do that is you can pull it horizontally, vertically, and you should do it just with the grain of whatever fabric you have. My technique is I hold down my hand, my hoop with my hands, and then I pull, and I hold down the hoop with my hands, and I pull. Do it again, do it on all four sides. And this is, sometimes you have to do it more than once. Now I'm going to tighten up the screw, okay, again. And then I'm going to do it like this, and like this, and like this, and like this. And how do I know it's good? How I know it's good is if I tap it, it sounds like a drum. All right, I hope that's helpful.
Do you do the same thing with a stabilizer, or are you just pulling the fabric?
You can pull the stabilizer. It's not as important, but but you can, technically you should do that.
The stabilizer, I pull it with the fabric. It's under the fabric, so I pull both.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing because I'm going to talk a little bit about fabrics. So you can use different kind of fabrics for the in your hoop. My favorite fabric is a linen blend. So if you think about quilting cotton is fairly light. The linen blend will be sturdier and it's easier for young people to use. So I go to the discount, there's this discount fabric place and I get it for like $4 a yard and you can get it in different colors. You can also use, so for the example that I made this week, I used upcycled denim. You probably can do it without, the denim is heavy enough that you can probably do it without the stabilizer, but I use stabilizer. Now, you know, your hoop size or the hoop that I'm using is a 4x4, but I buy pre-cut 8x8 stabilizer and I cut my fabric into at least 8x8 squares. And that's because you need some overlap so that you can pull the hoop tight. So you need to be able to overlap it. So that's why you use the 8x8. You can see here, I have overlap on the sides and overlap on the back with the stabilizer. So so that's the important part of doing that. Now you can use any kind of fabric, you know, regular cotton quilting fabric is fine. Heather, Heather turned me on to using pleather, which is like a synthetic a leather, and I can get it at my store, my sophisticated sewing store, for about $6.99 a yard, and it's 54 inches. So you can make a lot of stuff with that. I've used, I get squares from a woman who has an upscale sort of interior design store. So I get a fabric and pleather from there, and and leather like they use in upholstery, and that works really well. I find that if you do that, the best thing to have is the anti-glue needles. So there are different styles of needles, anti-glue ones. Thank you, Sonia. I had lipstick on my teeth. So I think those are some good advices. Now, do you have any questions about fabric, about hooping? Everybody understands.
If you were going to do something onto a t-shirt, is there a particular type of t-shirt fabric that you want to do? Or?
Oh, that is such a good question, because I actually have been stitching onto t-shirts. The problem with t-shirts is that the fabric is stretchy. Okay. So for that, what you want to do is you want to get this tearaway adhesive stabilizer. Okay. So what it is it's adhesive on one side. I don't know what that is. That's my thing. Okay. I don't know. No. Okay. I hit something. So what you do is you tear away the cover on the adhesive part. You put it on the back, you adhere it to the back side of the fabric, and then you hoop it. What the adhesive does is that it actually stabilizes the fabric so it can't stretch while it's stitching. And then you just tear it away.
And that might account for the fact that I've been having so much trouble with my little hairballs, because I've been using a regular stabilizer and pretty thin, stretchy material now.
Yeah, there you go. Heather, why don't you explain? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so when I embroider on t-shirts, I do two stabilizers. I use a iron-on woven fusible, the same kind of interfacing you would use if you were sewing garments. Pellon SF101 is the brand from Joann's. Bosel makes a really good one. And you iron that on to just the part where you want the embroidery. And then you can also use the same embroidery stabilizer I would put in the hoop. So you're sort of double stabilizing. And that should keep it from stretching while you're stitching.
Yes.
Now, I work with young people, and I started out actually using that iron-on stabilizer. The young people who come in often want to do their t-shirts I teach for a technical vocational high school. So the hospitality or the nursing folks, they will have uniforms, and they want their name or whatever on their uniform. When I use the iron-on, oh my God, they struggled so much. Many of my young people have never ironed.
And if it's polyester, you can't iron this. I'm talking about cotton t-shirts.
Cotton t-shirts, right.
If you've got like a uniform fabric that's going to melt in the iron, this won't work.
Yeah.
So
that's why I went to the adhesive. But
I've used what Heather just said, two stabilizers, one on the front and the other on the back, and that's worked out well.
I hadn't thought of that, Cynthia. That's a great idea. Like a wash away on top would work.
Yeah. So Leslie has two questions. Is linen blend what you recommend for students practicing? So that question is, the thicker, the heftier fabric seems to be easier for my young people to use, okay, to hoop. They have a harder time hooping lighter fabrics. So the linen blend isn't too thick, but it's thicker than the cotton and easier for them to hoop. So this is simply for ease of hooping. And if students try a t-shirt and it's a mess, can it be taken out and redone, or is the t-shirt ruined? About 90% of the time, the t-shirt is ruined. But you can get t-shirts online. You can buy them in bulk, the cotton t-shirts, for like $2 or $3 if you buy them in bulk. So sometimes it's not so terrible. The other thing that I've done with t-shirts is I've made a patch to put over the ruined part of it. So you can make a patch and sew it on over the ruined part. Okay, any other questions, concerns?
I just want to interrupt and show what Heather made. Heather was joined us for the first tea and TurtleStitch workshop. And see this? Heather's a sewer, amongst other things, and she made this bag. And it's something for you guys to think about. I just thought
As a product. Yeah.
to bug Heather about while she's with us.
Yes.
Well,
So-
to be fair, we always have to give credit. The pattern for that bag comes from a YouTube sewist, bag maker and quilt maker who goes online by the name The Crafty Gemini. Vanessa
she's
Vargas
awesome.
Wilson. She's amazing.
You
So-
turned me onto her. and
Take her
I
down
love
as
it.
a resource.
Yeah,
Yes,
she
I'll put it
she
in the-
is.
For sewing products, I'm gonna put it in the
Of course, the designs are beautiful. Whoops.
Lisa Jus, that's a Lisa Jus curve, and
Yeah.
that's done with spirals.
Yeah, and then there's on the back. It's a mess right now. I took it to New York with me the other day.
Yeah,
Anyway, I think for some things, just making like a banner of your projects would be very nice for if you're working with students. Isn't that right? You can make.
yes. It's nice to make a wall quilt. I'm gonna
Oh, it's a wall
share
quilt.
my screen now and show you the wall quilt that I made with my students.
Yes.
Okay. So I had students do TurtleStitch for like 6 weeks. Okay, and let's see if I can make it bigger. I think that's about as big as I can make it. I had him do it for about 6 weeks, and we did a whole bunch of different lessons, and they collected their favorites. And then on the outside, we made we'll talk about these today, biscuits. So they put their favorite star and their name on it, and it went all the way around. Now, if you see some of them, like the snail and the butterfly and the chef's hat, and let's see the
We don't
T-Rex,
have to.
those are pixel art designs, and we're going to do a version of that in a few weeks. So you'll be able to do that. But you can see it's sort of like a sampler of all the different lessons that we did, and we put it together. It was about, I don't know, 4 feet tall, 4 or 5 feet tall. So that's an example. Right now, I have some young people working for about 4 or 5 weeks, just once a week on a lesson like you do. And they have decided to make pillows, like quilted pillow covers, with like 9 designs that they really like. They're able to trade designs. Like if you like what one person did and you want to make a block, they can do that. I have them save all their DSTs so we can easily do that.
I guess,
Ooh, can you show your banner? Do you have a photo?
I'm going to tell you that I use felt. I use stiff felt because I have a lot of trouble putting things in hoops. And I put this in, I wasn't going to show you, but I put this in a hoop that is magnetic. So there's very little I have to attach. Okay, this goes like this. Okay, and I just, because I put it in better, but it's easy to do. The problem is if you're working with a lot of students, these are pre-cut 8" by 8" squares, and it would probably get expensive unless you're in a private school or, big budget. If you're in a public school, it would get expensive, right?
Yes, because those hoops were like $50, right?
Well, when I got them, they're $50 now. I got them before the epidemic.
The pandemic, yeah.
Pandemic, and they were cheaper. But that's what I use, and I also use cardstock. And sometimes I just tape the cardstock onto the with the felt. I don't need any stabilizer. With cardstock, I often need stabilizer, and I kind of tape the cardstock to the stabilizer.
So yes, you can make cards with certain kinds of designs and embroider them. The needle does wear out a lot quicker than it does with fabric.
Yeah, see, this is all cardstock. Whoops. This is cardstock.
Susan asked me to share the banner that we made for my class and I couldn't find it, but you do not have to be a quilter and pull off that beautiful thing that Susan was showing us to get all the class projects on one piece. I just took a really big piece of felt and moved it around in the hoop and embroidered everyone's design on it to make the banner.
Wow.
And they loved it. It hung in the classroom for the rest of the year. And, it wasn't finished on the edges. It wasn't quilted. It didn't do any of those things, but it allowed them to show off their designs.
Right.
Did you
Right.
use soft felt or stiff felt?
It was soft, but extra thick. I don't know what it was because I got it at Fabmo, the recycled fabric place. So it had no label on it. But it was thicker than the craft felt that you get. And it was just a giant big piece. It was like 22 inches by 40. And I could get all the students' designs on that by just rehooping it.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's such an awesome idea, especially for a classroom. And okay, let's see, Cynthia, what do you have here?
This is the stitches on cardstock.
Oh, yeah. One of the things I was going to tell you is that design is on the front page under getting started. And you can print it out. I put it on little holders that little fabric manipulatives with little loops on them, and I hang them on the wall and then grab them and show them to people because a lot of young people don't know what the different kind of stitches look like. So that's a good thing. Okay, I want to share my screen again. And I want to show you one thing, an app that I think is really interesting. Okay. Let's see, slideshow. Okay, let's go here.
Some,
Okay, so sometimes when you download, I download my DST designs and I keep them in a folder on my desktop, but I can't see them. You can't, I can't view them. You need an app to view them. And one app that Cynthia and I like is called Stitch Buddy. And if you're a Mac person, there's the link for using it. And if you're a Windows person, there's a link for using it. So whenever, you don't even have to open the app, whenever you click on a DST, it will automatically open it so you can see what that DST looks like. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. All right, Cynthia, take it away. It's time for you to start the class. Now we do need a robot. Heather, you want to be our robot today? You would be a great robot.
I can give it a try. I don't know.
Okay.
Cynthia's going to yell at me.
Ah! Cynthia, you're going to be kind today and not
I'm
yell at
going to go really slowly this time, and I'm going to try not to get confused. And I saw Leslie shaking her head, nodding that I would yell. So I'm going to try not to. Okay. And you know, the last week, Elin was the robot, and I really thought she was fabulous. And I did yell at her. And I
can take it, Cynthia.
So Elin is skiing today. She thought this would be a good weekend to go skiing, and she apologizes for not being here, but I was really proud and excited that she finished her first embroidery project and actually embroidered it. Okay, go ahead. You can share now, Heather.
Yeah, hang on.
Okay, so yes, so Heather's going to.
I just want to make sure there it is. Okay. We got it?
Yeah. And now could you make that go to where the turtle on where it says week 5 starter project, that turtle?
Yep.
Oh, I think it's
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the nut thing next to it, whatever you call that. Yeah. And make zoom blocks so it'll be a little bigger. Yeah, make that 1.5 or 2. Which is it? I don't know.
Yeah, 2 is good.
Okay.
Way Cynthia will be able to see it. Okay. And you
Oh,
might want,
good.
yeah, good. You might want to make the stage just a little smaller. Okay, so does everybody have this up on their screen, or do they need help figuring out how to do that? I did put the link earlier, and it's on your email as well.
Well, this this is a script that will make polygons. It won't make star polygons. It will make simple, regular polygons. And we could try it. How do we try it? Why don't you just run it now? Well, you see, it did a star polygon, so I'm wrong already. Okay. Do you remember this from last week? If you change the multiple of 360 to 1, no, leave multiple of 360.
This one.
Change 2 to 1. And now what is it going to do? Now it's going to do a simple polygon. Okay. So this is a way of searching for angles. And you can see on the stage, the number of points, the angle, and you can't see.
Oop.
Um,
Let me see if I can.
just move it down. Yeah, but you could also move the, sorry, see where it says mull?
Yeah.
And you can move that thing down so it's visible. Yeah. How's that? Now, this information you might want is what Susan put in a table. And her table is accessible to you. She gave you the URL for it. But this is information you might want to save. So if you want to go back, like I want a pentagram. So what's a pentagram? It's 5 points. And in this case, you need to set the multiple of 360 to 2. Yeah,
Every number of points is the multiple of 360 for a really pretty star, or what I think is a really pretty star.
Okay.
It's different, and I put the link to, you have a link in your email, but I put a link to the chart here in the chat, so you can take a look at it.
In fact, once you know that the angle is 144, you can just type it in. And you don't need, you can just set the angle to 144 and it'll make the star. So that's a reason for keeping it. But if you don't know, the thing about stars is you've got to search for them. Okay, so what about, one thing we know is there's no regular 6-pointed star. It collapses to a triangle or a straight line. Okay, but what about like an 8-pointed star? So let's see what happens. Okay, so it if it's only 2 times 360 divided by, what is 360 divided by 8? It's 45. And 2 times 45 is 90, which makes a square. So try 3. Well, it makes an 8-pointed star. So yay, we found one. There may not be any others, but if we kept trying, and this is an angle of 135, and in my head by now, 135 is there. If you ask me for an 8-pointed star, I'll tell you an angle of 135. But what Susan has set up for herself and for you is a table that you can refer to, and that the young people that you work with can refer to. Okay, so that's what we have to do. And I think, is there what am I doing? That's what I want to know. What am I leading you to? Oh, into a polygon block. This is confusing, I think.
Are we going to give them some time to play with this?
Yeah, what happened to that? It got erased on what I'm looking at. Yeah, tinkering time is what we want. Could you just all play around and see what angles you come up with to make stars? And maybe we can collect them and add them to, each person can share a bit.
I'm going to stop sharing so people can ask questions if they want to.
Thank you. Well, look, Elaine is back.
Hello, hi. Yes, I was attending the other the TurtleStitch Worldwide meeting, and I talked about ChatGPT and what I experienced. So that's why I wanted to tell them about my
Well,
I
tell
went
us later, dear. They're,
Okay,
they're
I will.
supposed to work on
Okay.
playing
Tinker.
around with finding good stars.
Okay.
If you find a good star, call it out and I'll add it to my,
Or show it to it, grab the screen
okay,
as well.
okay, I got you. Share screen, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, Susan's sharing the screen. I want the other people to share the screen.
Oh, yeah, let them share their screen, okay. Let me unshare.
Okay.
Anybody find a good star? Or star they like, or a star? Walter. Yay.
And now what angle is 163.6. Get.
That's because
Now-
it's a prime number.
What?
That's because it's a prime number.
It's got 11 sides. Oh, yes. It's got 11 points. Whoa, that is nice. Was it easy to find?
I just, yeah, I mean, I wanted to, I just use prime numbers. I think prime numbers tend to work pretty well.
That's right. They do. They're less likely to collapse. Although they do.
So
But
the,
is
the
there
number,
another star that has 11 points?
this is 7. 13, let's see what 13 looks like. So there are several 11-pointed stars, and depending on how tight you want that inner space to be. The first one was the kind I often like. And 5, I think it was 5. Yeah. Yeah, with the small center. I like those kind of stars. Now, one of the interesting things about, oh, can you keep sharing, Walter? So you see, we have this new stop rule at the bottom. If 1 minus the absolute value of starting direction minus ending direction, that's the stop rule. And that when you have the angle that has a fraction in it, sometimes because of the way that the program works, the starting direction never equals the direction that you're going to, because there'll be some tiny fraction. And that's why we have that stop rule there of if 1 is greater than absolute value of starting direction minus direction. It's exactly for stars like 11, where the angle is 163.6363636. And when it gets shortened, it sometimes won't exactly equal the starting direction. Does that make sense? Oh, 20 and 9. Let's try Heather, you share. Oh, yeah. That's awful nice. And the angle is 162.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome sauce.
Well, a favorite of mine is an angle of 160. How many points there?
Anybody want to try it on screen and share? Who else? How about Cameron? Why don't you share?
Okay, I'll share now.
Great.
I'm not too sure about the angle of 160 though, but I'm gonna share anyway. Where is that share thing again?
For this, you have to remove all that complicated arithmetic and just stick in 160. Set angle to 160. Oh, but share the screen.
Yeah, I'm looking for my share the screen. Where is this thing?
Down at the bottom, if you
Oh, there we
hover.
go. I needed to make it bigger.
Okay. Yeah, they do. They need to make it bigger.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Zooms.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's so good. He knows
Yeah.
how to do it. They're learning.
Oh, good. Okay. See where it says set angle to multiple of blah, blah. Take the times thing out. Slide it out. No, not multiple. Nope. Put multiple back in. Put your cursor on the X and slide that out.
Oh,
Drag
that.
it,
Yeah.
and now put 160 in there.
Oh, okay.
And now see what happens.
Okay, I got funny numbers in here though.
Who cares?
Okay, I see. I see.
It's, and I'll tell you, it's a 9-pointed star. It's one of my favorites because with 9, there's also another 9-pointed star, which by Susan's and my criteria isn't as pretty.
We have very specific aesthetic.
And that is if you stick 80 in there, half of 160.
Okay,
Now that
see.
one would be very nice to decorate. See, the other one, you could put your name in the middle. You could put circles at each point. You could do all kinds of fun things to this
To
simple.
this one.
Well,
Yeah.
the other, well, you can't put anything in the middle of the other one.
Yeah, and one thing that you can do with these simpler ones, if you're doing an outline, is to change the embroidery stitch. And when you change the
Like,
embroidery,
try it, Susan, have him try it.
okay, go to embroidery. And let's try Z stitch. Put Z stitch up there. And put it inside and make it 5 by 5.
We'll see what it looks
Put
like.
it after running stitch.
Oh, often.
It'll only do the last one.
Just click on it. Oh, well.
Okay, try
5.
5 by 5. Density 5 with 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
but okay.
Okay, reset. So if you make it a little bit bigger, you can see.
Zoom to fit. Click on, yeah.
So you can get interesting things. I really like using zigzag and Z stitch with 5 by 5 for a lot of things. So it's cool.
But why don't you see what it looks like? Pull out another one, another Z stitch.
Okay.
Now just leave it wherever. Okay, go ahead. No, it's okay. Click on reset. Now click on that Z. Oh, okay.
Okay. That's okay.
Okay. And now click on the, yeah.
It's a little bit of a mess.
It's kind of ugly, but you can make it beautiful by changing its dimensions, the density and width. And
Okay.
that's true for a lot of these stitches. Playing with them really makes a difference. Okay,
Okay.
good. Okay, so maybe we could all get back and and our robot could take over. What we're going to do is make a poly procedure, a poly block. And the essentials of poly, a general poly block, right? Where we know with the length of a side is going to be, and we know the amount of turn, the angle at the turtle's going to turn. And remember, they're external angles that the turtle turns. So, in fact, what we want to do is pull down the forever. Pull down the forever. Do you see?
In the
Does that
script.
make sense?
Oh, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Pull that down, and we're going to use that as the framework. So we're going to turn this into, if you hold your mouse button down, the right button down
Where?
on the
Scripting
scripting area,
Yeah.
hold it down, and a menu will pop up.
Right click.
It's a Mac. You have to control click.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. Make a block. Select make a block. And you can store this block anywhere in the palette, but I usually use motion. So click on motion this time. And I'm going to call it poly or okay, and say okay. So you see it's sort of color coded. It's now got the same blue as motion. If we had chosen operators, it would have the same color as operators. So if you could make that window bigger. Good. Isn't that annoying? Yeah. Put forever, make a copy of forever, duplicate, hold the mouse down and duplicate and stick that, don't attach it yet. Okay, so here's what we need. Poly has to be given length and angle. So we go up to poly and there's a triangle there by the Y. I don't know how else to
plus mark.
or a plus sign. It's a plus sign. I'm sorry. Click on it. Now, we're going to give it a name. I'm calling it length, but you could call it something that's convenient for you. And say, okay. Now we'd like to label that name. So I'm going, click on title text and say length. Or you could be, look at that. She put it in the wrong place. So go and click on the plus sign in front of, that's right. Click on that one and put length. Okay. And on this one, click on it. And we're going to change its name to angle. Okay. And now go to the plus sign and type in angle. Great. Now the stop rule is what we're going to have to change. The stop rule there won't work for, well, it will work. No, that's the right stop rule. It's complicated. I'm sorry. But we won't work by itself. We have to define what starting direction is. We have to give it a value. And one of the things, we could have it as a third input to Polly, but we don't want to bother with that. We want to do it internally. And that's what script variables are good for. We can make a variable which is local to this block. So we go to variables, and you see where it says script variables? Scroll down. No, we're not nope, go scroll up. There it is. Whoops.
The gray one.
The gray thing. Script variables. Drag that out and
In here?
stick it on right as the first instruction.
Under forever or before forever?
Before forever. The first instruction. Click, yeah. Okay. And we're going to change the name A. Click on A. We're going to change that to starting direction.
2 words?
I don't care. It's up to you. And then we're going to set it, pull out the set command and put it under script variables and put forever under it. No, put connect. Yeah, exactly. And we're going to set this starting direction to direction. And so we have to go to motion and scroll down. And you see direction is just before, yeah, pull that out and stick that in instead of 0. So,
Okay, can we pause for just a second and see if people have caught up? Or if anybody has a question?
well,
Every-
it's just now put together, Susan. So what I'd like to do is try it and then look at what we've edited.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So we could say okay. Now see where poly length angle appears at the bottom of the motion palette section? Pull it out and let's make this length be 200. And the angle be what?
160. Your
Okay,
favorite.
we'll reset. And now click on poly. It worked. Now let's see what's going on. We didn't need all that information because we didn't have to compute what the angle was. We gave it the angle. What we had to save, can you put your cursor on poly and edit? Edit is the last thing. Now, the first thing we did was we created a new variable called starting direction. And that variable is what's known as a local variable. And it's hidden from the, we don't care to see it once we understand it, okay? And we set that variable to the current direction. And now we run what we know worked before. And that is we go forever to move the length and turn the angle. And then test if the absolute value of the difference between the starting direction and the direction is less than 1. If it is, we know that the job is done. So we stop the block. Does everybody understand that? Feel comfortable with it?
Do we want to let people try it? You were going faster than most people.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, let's leave this up so they can see it. Is that good?
That's fine.
Okay. Thank you for telling me. I need feedback from people other than Susan. Susan, you're a crow again.
I'm a crow again? Oh, I forgot. Okay. I'm actually a raven. I'm actually a raven. Okay.
He
If
says
you
it's a
got
raven.
lost making this poly block, I've put it up in the week 5 TurtleStitch folder. If you click on there, you download it and then import it. If you're totally lost, there's a solution.
Isn't it part of the starter thing?
No.
Oh, it should be.
Okay, and this is my second time through this class, and I realized early on I didn't want to hide all this stuff in a block. I wanted my code to be messy so that I could see what was going on. And
Yep.
it took me a long time to trust that I could hide it away in a block and still know what was going on.
Well, how about making a third input?
In the block or somewhere else?
Yeah, let's make Polly take a third input, which is the starting direction. So after angle, do you see where angle is, dear? On
Yes.
the title line, on the title line. Okay, click. Starting direction. You can call it anything. Okay, okay.
It's kind of wordy, but yeah.
Okay, remove, just leave forever, remove those 2 instructions. We don't need them. You can put them at the bottom. No, yeah, you can leave them in there. Okay, that's good. Now try it. Say apply. Apply, click on apply, and then move the, well, you can say, okay, and maybe
Yeah,
it's,
I think we have to.
you see how what's happened here? Now Polly has a third input and you want to take direction and stick it in there. Does that help you?
A little bit, yep.
In 1970, when we first had turtles, what I would do is write a super procedure called Polly. And it had a sub procedure, which took 3 inputs. Okay, so you could do that too. Do you follow
Mhm.
that? But then I thought it was fun to use this script variable thing, but it is confusing. So you could write a super procedure so that you don't have to always worry about starting direction. You need it as a stop rule, as part of the stop rule, but it's not something that it isn't like length and angle. So now when you run Polly, let's close. Oh, is everybody fiddling with it? Did everybody get it? Has somebody not gotten it? Try running Polly 200. Let's make it what's a 144. Now try running it poly 144.145. Try 145. See what that does. Woo.
Let's do that one again.
Okay. Try 144.5 and see what that does.
Whee, look at it go. And that's when you break a needle.
Yes.
Yes, that's when you break a needle. I love that, Heather.
Yay. She knows what to do. You definitely break a needle. You have a big blob.
That's so awesome.
It might work. I don't know.
So what Heather's doing right now is X-ray. X-ray is a way to check. You see, she's checking that box. It's a way to check how dense your stitches are and how likely it is that you will break a needle.
So try it with a different value. Yeah, try it with a different value.
Anything in particular?
No, like 144, and then show them what X-ray looks like, or
Oh, yeah.
160 or whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're never going to break a needle on that. Well, I wouldn't say never. You shouldn't break a needle on that one.
Okay. It doesn't have any. Okay. I think that's really good to demonstrate. Now okay, good.
Yeah, so these ones, it's right here where it's so bright that it could get you into trouble. But it might be okay. It's not giving me a density warning,
No, it's not.
but I would be worried.
Yeah. It'll complain. Your machine will go cha-chunk, 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 but it may not break and it may be fine.
It also puts a lot of stress on the fabric and can kind of wrinkle up and tighten the fabric in a way that isn't always the look you're going for. And I've torn fabric that way. The needle makes it, but the fabric can't handle the stress.
So once you know the angle, this little block will work beautifully. But it's when I'm playing around, since even if I made a table, it's somewhere. I play around with the block, the script block, to find an angle I like. Okay, I find that I go back and forth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, instead of knowing the angle right off, you can do it through tinkering. What I love about TurtleStitch is that tinkering is essential to really both learn and find designs that you really like.
What I want to do now. Hi, Etta. Nice to see you.
Ooh.
See that's
Keep
one of
going
the
until you
things
get a
that young
density
people-
warning.
That's one of the things people do, is they stop it when they really like the thing before it fills in totally.
That's cool, but it's not a star anymore.
No.
Well, not to your eyes.
Okay, mathematically, it might still be a lot
Yeah,
of them.
right. But you know what we're going to do now is change poly so that it becomes a spiral maker. Okay. And so what I'd like to do is have you move the editor over.
Left, right?
Okay. And drag out the forever and put it, oh, well, here it is. I guess you
Yes,
don't.
she's already got it.
You've already got it.
Got it
I
here.
wanted people to see that if for debugging purposes, you could drag that out. And if you said cancel, the code is still there.
Mm,
Do you,
right.
does
So
anybody
I could do this, but then
Yes.
cancel.
that's right. And
And then
then
if
if
I
you
look at-
edit it again,
It's still there.
it's still there. And I do that a lot. Okay, in this case, you can throw out the duplicate if you want. Yeah, throw it out. It's too confusing. Oh, I don't know. Whatever. So let's edit this. Let's make a new block called PolySpy.
So you want me to make a new block?
Yep.
Motion?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, you can choose something else, but
Poly. How do you-
Spiral or spy.
okay, whatever.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. We want length and angle. So you could put them back.
Now everyone just gets to watch me type.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
But it's good because you're giving them time to do it too. It helps with the timing.
Yeah, it would be good if people did it along with us. That's right. Okay. So would you put the forever in, please? Okay. You can,
Actually, I'm gonna duplicate it. I
okay,
want to
good.
keep.
That-
Yep. I like to have all the references there too.
yes. So here's the thing. That stop rule won't work for making spirals. What do we do for spirals? We played with spirals a couple of weeks ago or something. What makes a spiral? What's the key thing for a spiral? You can shout it out.
You have to change the angle.
Well, that's one thing you can do, but what's a spiral? Each side is longer or shorter than the previous. Okay, so that's the key. We're going to use change. You remember, pull out change, which is
Change.
where variables are. Go to variables
Yep.
and see where after set there's change. Pull change out and put that after if. Inside forever.
Inside forever after if. Got it.
Yes. And we're going to change the length by something. Okay. Now we could try this and see what happens.
I'm skeptic.
We're going to get an error. Pull
Yeah.
out, go to motion, and go to the bottom, scroll down, and pull out PolySpy. And give it a length and an angle of like 90, 160. Fine, that's good. Okay, and see what happens. Well, it doesn't get very far because, okay. Open it up. Let's edit it. You see the stop rule is at work. If we
You need maximum size.
wait, oh, okay.
Sorry.
I wanted to tell you something first. If could you pull it over a little? Drag
This way or the.
I don't care. I want to see what's on the scripting. If we change starting direction to 3, no, 10. Change, pull direction out.
Out of here?
No. I want to, you see, starting direction hasn't changed. I want to change what starting direction is. So where it says set starting direction,
Sets.
up on the, oh,
This one.
yes, please.
Okay. Do you want to put that in the block?
No, I just want you to take direction out and put 25.
Got it.
Click on it. And now click on PolySpy.
So we're gonna, let's reset, set starting direction. Whee, look at it go.
Okay, so it's never, ever, because we didn't reset starting direct. That's not a good rule for us. That's all I wanted you to see.
Oh, that's good. That's good, Cynthia.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. For
Okay.
me, I don't know about for other
So
people.
now we're going to edit.
How do I stop it?
The
click on
double
the-
stop sign in the top right of the stage.
Or you could have clicked on the, see where it's outlined, click on it. Click on PolySpy. Yeah, click there. And
Got it.
the blue stuff stopped surrounding it.
Yep.
Okay.
No,
Now,
the Zoom window was over the stop sign and I couldn't find it.
yeah.
Oh,
So now edit PolySpy. And let's talk about what kind of a stop rule do we want? Throw this one away. It's no good. No, leave if there. Leave
We
if.
want to leave if
I want
And
to throw
just
out
the
the
green.
rule.
this one.
Yes.
Got
It's good. And put change back.
Yep.
Thank you, robot. So when do we want to stop this? Well, I'd like to stop it when the length reaches 500. How's that? Is that a good stop rule?
yeah.
So
Mm.
go to operators and pull out, go to greater than, less than, or equal, and pick one of those. And stick it in there. And put length on one side. Yeah. And what's a good, okay, or 200. Maybe I shouldn't do 500 for a test. It'll take too long.
Anna Cullen Boyatzakis.
Oh, shoot. Yep. Oh, dear.
Maybe you want to increase the change to like 5.
Well, I don't care if it's not 500. I don't know. Let's see what happens when you suffer.
That's not right.
What?
Well,
What
I
hap-
tried it.
And what happened?
It drew a line.
No, you did. Oh, wait a minute. Would you please open the block? What I see is the wrong. Who's? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my screen, not yours. My
Well,
screen.
that's not going to work.
Yeah. So, if you could move the block editor now a little over the other way, please. I want to see what's on the screen, and up a little, up higher so I can see the input. Okay. So you said, I want to see the picture and I want, okay. Oh, well. PolySpy 200, 160. And what happened to the rule? I'm sorry, I'd like to see.
Oh, she
It-
started with length 200. She needs to start at like length 5. or
Oh,
something.
so it didn't do anything. It
Yes,
did
right.
one thing.
It did
It
one thing.
worked beautifully.
It did.
It did.
But not the way we wanted it to.
That's fabulous. Okay, so eventually it worked. But we want to be able to now, we want to
Yeah.
change how much it in what the add-on is. So now go back and edit. There are two things. One, we want to know what length we should have the block should stop. At what length the block should stop, and what's the add-on. So we want to make two new inputs.
To Poly Spy. So the click on the plus after
After
angle.
angle,
Mhm.
when we want to know what the
That-
maximum length is.
Good. Excellent.
Good. And we also want to know what the add-on is for change.
Uh, Come on.
There you go. You got it.
Now
Now
we
you-
want to change if.
Right. To if length equals
Max length.
max length.
Well,
So
there
you're
it
gonna
is. That's
drag
it.
max length from the top. Yep, that's it. Drag that into 200 and then drag add into length. Yeah, you got it. Okay,
Now try it. Reset.
we have to put some numbers in, don't we?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, she's doing that now.
that's
Okay. Do zoom to fit.
I think 500 was good, Cynthia, for the max length.
Okay,
I think your original idea was good.
okay.
Okay, zoom to fit.
Just fit. It just fit. My, my hoop. Okay, well, isn't that beautiful? But I might want to make it add 8 instead of 5. It depends what you want. But now
It's gonna be too big, but that's okay. We're not printing it.
can adjust the 500 and make it smaller.
wee, look at it go.
But now,
36.
did you all follow that? Would you open the
Huh,
block and
Cynthia, I think something is wrong. I think
Yeah,
we
there
need,
is something wrong.
okay,
I know there's something wrong
okay.
because 5 and 8 are 13. They'll never be 500.
Oh,
Do people see that? It'll never be 500. We want to use either less than or greater
Great.
than as the stop rule. So if you could edit PolySpy and put either one.
Okay, here's where my dyslexic brain goes in. I don't know which one's which.
Doesn't matter. Pull it
doesn't
out.
matter which one. You can choose either one.
Yeah, but she doesn't know. That's greater than.
Thank you.
So now pull out this, put length Oh, fabulous. That's it. No,
Whoops.
no,
I hate it when that happens. I hate
Yeah.
it when that
I know. Well, you'd hate it if it didn't happen too.
happens.
It's one of those things. Now try it.
That's a fair point.
Now try it. So that stop rule now works.
And that one's embroiderable.
Yes.
Try it with 90 just to make sure. Now, here's where I'd like you to do 92 instead.
Aha.
Now make that add on 5 or 5. Gets prettier, doesn't it? Well, I'd like you all to tinker and try this. My favorites are like that, and try it with a hexagonal shape and with a penta.
So like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
try
if you want to, if you,
and 72. Try my 60 and 72 and 90. Those are favorites of mine. But instead of 72, make it 73 or 74. Instead of 60, make it 62.
ooh, that's pretty.
And make the add-on smaller. Yeah.
It's too big.
Yep. Well, so is everybody playing?
The way to get the angle easily is to pull out one of the operator blocks and put it, if you like, you want a hexagon or whatever, you 360 divided by 6, and then click on it and you get the angle.
Does anyone need to see
Yeah.
inside there again?
Yeah. So if you draw it to the left so they can see a result, and also up so they can see see, they can see
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
I
This
can't
is
get
what I
my,
mean, so they can see you running PolySpy. Yeah. Excellent.
you can just run it on top of itself.
Oh, yeah. Well,
At
then,
a certain point, that gets silly.
yeah,
But I need to.
yeah. Or see, bring that down, bring the reset button down and get rid of Poly and put PolySpy under it. Yep. Yeah, good.
Here, let's.
Yeah, yeah. And you could
Oops.
line up what your favorite PolySpies are. It's what I do. Yeah. I think that's helpful to people. And
Questions, concerns, surprises.
oh, look, there's a lot of chat. What's going on there?
Oh,
I haven't looked at chat.
don't worry, everything's cool. I like that people are asking questions in the chat. I've been answering them.
Well, I'd like to know what kind of questions they are.
Oh, Leslie was worried that max length wasn't showing up in the variables palette. And I said, that's right. It wouldn't show up there because it's a variable that only works in the block.
It's what's known as a local variable. The variables that you create with the variable in the variable palette are what are known as global variables.
Does somebody else want to share something cool they figured out?
What about Etta? Has Etta figured out anything, Walter? You have to unmute.
Yeah, Ed is working on trying to use this stuff to make cat eyes, to make eyes for a cat.
Ooh, to cat eyes. That
Yeah,
sounds
so
like,
she's
that
making a
sounds cool.
Cat face from, and she's going to use these patterns as the eyes of the cat.
Oh, that's really, really, really cool.
So work in progress.
Work in progress. Okay. Anybody else?
Leslie, how are you doing? We can't hear you, but we'd love to see what you're doing.
Why don't you share?
All right. Here, we'll share. Okay, so the idea is you're going to make a cat face, and then we're going to put little patterns, stars and polygons and things in the middle.
Oh, that's great.
For the eyes. That's nice. At some point, we're going to do a class on what's the name of that guy? I forgot, Cynthia.
Ed Emberley.
Ed
Oh,
Emberley,
yeah.
who makes a lot of designs with polygons.
Yeah.
What he breaks up the design by showing you what the components are.
So like you have a circle and two for the face and two triangles for the ears. Oh yeah, you've got an Ed Emberley book there too. Elaine has hers out there. She's actually showing it. Okay. So
Now,
Leslie, you want to
I'd
show?
like you all to try something for me, which is, I want you to try Poly Spy. What was it? It's there on page something rather, 10. I Poly Spy, the length is 5. The angle is 176. Oh, I know what to do. Make the length be 200. The angle 176. And the maximum length 200. What will that do?
Not much.
Really?
It gave me a
Straight
like
line?
not quite two-sided triangle,
Oh, okay. So,
like an out and back.
okay. So try, oh, you have to use Poly for that. Do you have Poly?
Yep.
Try Poly 200, 176.
Hang on. We stuck poli-sci on my reset. Ooh, there we go.
And can you show it?
Yeah, hang on. I've lost my Zoom window.
That's pretty.
What?
200, 176.
Okay. Now, with Poly Spy, make the length be 5, 176, 508. 500 and then add 8. How's
Cool.
that?
Very cool.
The difference, the difference is quite interesting, isn't it?
It doesn't stop, Cynthia.
Yes, it does.
Mine stopped.
It stopped, Susan.
Okay.
But it's the same polygon, but when you make it into a spiral, it comes out to this beautiful thing. Surprise. So I just want you to know, if you try different things, you'll get that kind of surprise. So there's a lot to try. And I think Do we have time to do one more thing or is it over?
It's over. And I need to tell you about next week because it's very exciting. You can play while I'm talking. Keep playing while I'm talking. I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to stay for a half an hour afterwards. Cancel. Okay. Cancel. Okay. Okay. Boom. Boom.
We're having a guest presenter next week.
Yes, we're having a guest presenter next week. It's Dr. Margaret Lowe from the University of Warwick. And
Warwick, you don't say the W, Warwick.
Oh, Warwick. Okay. You've actually met her, haven't you?
No, but I've been to Warwick.
You've been to
This
Warwick.
is, in case you don't know, this is in Britain.
Yeah.
They have a lovely castle in Warwick.
Yes. So she writes this, she's won all kinds of awards and been doing creative tech for like 30 years. And one of the quotes that I really like from her is that she says that during the evenings of the COVID lockdowns, she started doodling with TurtleStitch, writing programs to generate patterns. And she finds it interesting how the fabric changes when the patterns are stitched into it and new textures appear and the fabric gets some depth. She says, I also enjoy seeing other shapes appear when the lines of stitches cross over each other. So I'm going to show you some of the things that she did during the lockdown. I'm not sure exactly what she's going to do, but whatever she does, it's going to be exciting. So if you want to look at some of her patterns, I put the link in here and you all have the link to the slides. So here are some of the patterns that she's been working with. So you get an idea. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. So that's what we're doing next week with Margaret. Galaxies. Okay. Yes, they're fun. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Comments? Cries of outrage? Was it helpful today?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And also the beginning where you talked about some of the mechanics, that was very helpful. Thank you.
Good. Is there anything else you'd like to learn about the mechanics of turtle stitching or materials or anything that we can put on for next week? No?
I had a question that I don't know if we covered last time, and obviously I haven't been on this one, but we always leave running stitch by 10. What is that 10? Like, what does that number mean? Because it doesn't work if you play with it. I've had students try and change it and things go wrong.
Oh, that's such a great question.
But what are we measuring? What is the 10 and why is it a variable if, I mean, like, why can you change it if it mostly doesn't work to change it?
Yeah. Yes, that's a great question. I'm definitely going to ask Andrea that and I'll have the answer next week.
It's if you change it to 5, it works. If you change it to 15, the differences become too big between this. The stitching becomes too long.
But it doesn't just give you a long stitch. There's something else going on. So I'd love to know what Andrea says, but that's good to know that changing it to 5 does work.
Yeah, but yeah, it's I forget what the measurement is for each stitch. I don't pay attention. I can see I don't work with kids anymore, so I don't get those questions. I can ignore them.
Well, I'm also working on it. I bought a bigger, more expensive machine, but it's very old. It's a Baby Lock Elissimo Gold, but it's from 2011. And so it has trouble talking to other computers, but I'm trying to quilt quilts with it, and certain designs work and other designs don't. and I'm trying to figure out how to optimize my TurtleStitch export to work well with this machine, and I'm struggling.
Okay.
So
Yeah, yeah.
There might be,
There is someplace on the TurtleStitch thing, a discussion about the sizing. The person who, of course, will know it is Margaret Lowe.
that's a good point.
Margaret
She
is
will.
Margaret is part of a manufacturing wing
Hmm.
of and she knows all that kind of thing. She's really hip.
I can tell you
Alright.
from experience that when I started out doing TurtleStitch, whenever it started a long time ago, I was at the South End Tech Center and we were doing it on an old baby lock machine that might be somewhat near the era that yours is. And when doing TurtleStitch, the woman who got the machine for the tech center asked me not to do TurtleStitch because she believes that the TurtleStitch, whatever TurtleStitch does, was messing up the machine.
Yeah, I don't think that that's really what's going on, but I do think there's something about the output, because you know, you can find designs online that other people have designed using more expensive software and different kinds of software, or the Baby Lock comes with a library of software and they stitch differently than TurtleStitch. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but I'm going to keep working on it because I do like the bigger throat space and the bigger hoop to put my quilts in. So I'll figure it out eventually. It's got to be possible.
And just email Andrea.
I could do that too.
Actually, if you log in, they're having their meeting right now.
They should be done by now, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they should be done.
Well, but it runs over.
That's a good point.
You could log in and ask her right now.
Okay. So we're going to stop right now, and anybody who's all done can log off. Anybody who has questions, I'm going to stop the YouTube live, but we'll hang on.